Hey everyone! What if I told you that right behind me, we're building a billion-dollar dream? Not just boat, but a masterpiece.
Bring the plate alignment to 0, 0. Check gap tolerance before we tack.
X-ray confirms full penetration. Zero porosity detected. Keel integrity verified at 100%.
Rib 14 is seated. Hit the upper weld first. Maintain square alignment.
Pure. Engage the bolt gun to 300 foot-pounds. Ready for weld prep.
Bow section is clear. Verify all transport couplings are secure. No damage to the leading edge curve.
Mid-hole 2B clear for final transfer. Maintain ground speed 1 meter per minute. Clear the assembly corridor.
4A is aligned. Run the overhead pass first. We need a Class 1 seal on all tank boundaries. Clear the upper corners. We need zero residue left on this steel. Ready for epoxy team in 10 minutes. Tunnel centerline confirmed to 0, 0 tolerance. Maintain a continuous bead on the lower pass.
The primary steel backbone is complete. 200 feet of flawless, high-tensile steel is ready. But to power the engine room lift is stable. Maintain vertical hold. Clear the lower deck for acoustic insulation team.
Engine 1 fitted. Check all mount points for compression integrity. We must ensure zero structural coupling.
Motor aligned. Final seating confirmed. Check coupling gap tolerance before locking the base. Maintain slow, steady pressure. Ensure the shaft coupling flange clears the bearing mount without contact. Zero scraping.
Runout reading is 0.05 inches. Perfect alignment. Lock the coupling bolts down.
Cut sequence 80% complete. Maintain coolant flow. We need a perfectly smooth bore. Maintain 100% surface coverage. Check the lowest corners. This seal is non-negotiable for environmental standards.
Orbital weld completion at 95%. Checking internal scan for uniform fusion. Exhaust integrity must be absolute.
Housing alignment verified. Run the full structural weld. Zero stress point at the hull joint.
Actuator seating confirmed. Check bearing alignment to the fin pocket. Zero binding allowed on this joint. Stern section contact achieved. Hold pressure. Alignment confirmed green across all axes.
Propeller seated. Engage hydraulic nut tool. Torque to spec. Final lock check nominal. Secured. Check lateral alignment to 0. Prepare for rudder actuator connection.
Maintain even coat. Overlap the passes by 50%. Full thickness required before final cure.
Thermal profile nominal across the joint. No heat anomalies detected. The steel structure is sound and sealed. The steel backbone is complete, but a yacht of this caliber must be light and fast.
Solvent swipe is critical. Zero contamination on the surface before TIG welding. We must maintain a perfect molecular bond.
Hold the bend at 18 degrees, 30 minutes. We need a perfect radius for the glass inserts. Check the digital readout.
Maintaining perfect heat control. We need absolute zero porosity on this alloy. The aesthetics start now.
Main deck base clear of the jig. Lift tension nominal. Proceeding with slow descent over the steel flange. Panel seated. Check the weld gap tolerance on the perimeter. We need perfect flatness across this entire surface. Adjacent areas. Platform Gamma 3 is stable. Lock all brace pins. Welding team moves in now for the sealing pass. Module drop confirmed, 0 impact. Begin final bolt sequence on the isolation points. We need absolute sound separation from the adjacent areas.
Rib set 6A aligned. Check the vertical tolerance. We need absolute 0 deformation on this alloy.
Hold steady on the vacuum. Slowly slide it down to the flange line. We need 0 pressure on the window aperture.
Check level on the forward strut. We need absolute 0 deformation here for the anti-glare glass installation.
Final pass on the windlass base. Maintain max filler rod density.
Low. Watch the bottom edge clearance. 0 contact on the aluminum frame.
Sealant pressure nominal. 0 voids in the bead. We need absolute protection against high-speed water pressure. Window seated. Check the vertical gasket compression. We need 0 distortion and perfect water and
shaft section clear. Run the vertical pass. We need the stainless steel joint to be flawless for internal service flow.
Stair frame contact. Secure the lower deck bolts first. We need this frame plumb and square before final deck welding.
Plate section Delta 5 seated. Begin synchronized screw sequence. 2 workers on the center line.
Vertical seam run complete. Scan parameters confirm full penetration. Superstructure exterior is fully sealed.
Hydraulic coupling secure. Begin low pressure cycle test on the line. We need 0 bleed on the steering system. Fin seated. Install all flange bolts. We need absolute rigid lock before we cycle the hydraulics.
torque verification at maximum. The black composite must compress to spec. This is the last link in the anti-vibration chain. Heave on my mark, steady pull on the forward end. We need a clean, continuous run on this conduit.
Overhead grid is set. Secure all clamps to spec. We need full coverage on the fuel manifolds.
Yes, the massive structure is complete. We've sealed the engine room and installed the glass. But a yacht of this caliber is defined by what happens.
Superstructure seating confirmed. Engage hydraulic lock pins now. We are structurally one.
Port seated. Torque verified to spec. We need absolute zero lip on this joint for safety and aesthetics. Full base frame locked. Run the continuous vertical pass. We need absolute water retention integrity on this structure. Lighting run complete. Verify continuity on the fiber optic line. We need uniform light distribution for the full blue effect.
Maintain uniform thickness at 4 millimeters. 0 dips allowed. We need this base flawless for the custom teak. Maintain the 5 millimeter gap. 0 tolerance for grain deviation. We need absolute perfection on this surface.
Maintain constant pressure on the bead. 0 voids in the caulking. We need a perfect aesthetic line.
Roller mechanism seated. Begin hydraulic bolt sequence. Torque to the highest spec. This takes the full load of the ship.
Railing section 3 alpha seated. Torque to 150 foot-pounds. Check verticality. 0 wobble on the finished perimeter.
Space cleared for seating. Check the data cable conduit alignment. We need a perfect seal before final bolting.
Door seated. Check the vertical track tolerance. We need absolute 0 deviation for the final hull pane alignment.
Davit base cleared for seating. Check the vertical alignment. Secure the lower bolts first for stability. Pivot arm sealed. Connect the return hydraulic lines.
Rack system secured. Verify all locking pins are operational. We need 0 movement on the gear when we hit rough seas. Lighting element installed. Check continuity on the run. We need a perfectly uniform glow along the entire length. Pump unit 2 is seated. Secure the base mounting bolts. Check hose clearance. We need 0 vibration when this system runs at full capacity.
Grill 3 secured. Check the tension on the springs. 0 vibration allowed, even at high volume.
Porthole frame seated. Begin synchronized torque sequence. We need full compression on that thick black gasket for water integrity.
Sensor 1 alpha secured. Check continuity on the alarm wiring. We need immediate, reliable response to any water ingress.
Flush plate secured.
Check the spring tension on the nozzle retraction. It needs to disappear completely.
Final weld pass on the number 7. Maintain low heat input. Perfect fusion, 0 distortion.
The yacht's massive shell is sealed and certified from the keel to the mast. But the most expensive...
We need this stateroom fully isolated. Begin final bolt sequence immediately. We need the final connections clear for the plumbing team.
Run the duct tight to the cable tray. Secure the industrial grade clamps every meter. 0 compression on the flexible trunk. Fusion complete on the main line. Check the joint for any thermal deformation. We need absolute sterility for the drinking water supply. Tank secured. Check hose clamp tension on the main line. We need absolute vacuum integrity on this system.
Cable pull steady. Maintain minimum bend radius. We need absolute clarity on the primary data line.
Rack 4 secured. Check vertical alignment to 0. We need absolute rigidity to prevent shock damage to the circuit boards.
Camera housing secured. Check the rotational axis freedom. Final seal around the perimeter.
Check the deck mounts. Final bolt sequence starting on the port side now.
Down to the cushion. Slowest possible speed. Ensure 0 vertical impact. This is irreplaceable. Slowly, we need the edges to be flush with the mounting bracket.
Panel 1 set. Check the vertical seam alignment. 0 visible gap between panels is mandatory.
Door seated in the hinge. Check the locking mechanism alignment. We need absolute 0 sound leakage when this door is closed. Sauna module sealed. Connect the high amp electrical line. Need to test the heating element for immediate function.
Frame secured. Check verticality on the laser level. 0 lean allowed, and this frame holds thousands of pounds of water.
Analog line 4 clear. 0 contact with AC power conduits. Signal integrity is paramount for the owner's sound system.
Countertop 1 secured. Verify the leveling. Start the electrical conduit connections to the deep fryer unit.
Bench unit 3 secured. Check the floor weld points for the table base. We need solid anchoring here.
Canister 3 secured. Check the hydrostatic release lever. We need absolute reliable operation for rapid deployment.
Sofa set 1 seated. Check the floor lock mounting pins. 0 movement on the furniture required.
Right with yourselves. The wood is paneled, the marble is laid, and the electronics are wired. We have transformed a bare aluminum shell into a watertight...
Hull transfer complete. Seal the main airlock door. Begin environmental stabilization.
Section Delta 9 clear. Mark the 2 o'clock position for a 2,000 grit sand block. We need absolute perfection before the final gloss.
Yacht clear of paint hanger. Final docking achieved. Confirm hull seated on all industrial red blocks. Commence main gate seal sequence.
Equalized. Main gate opening. Yacht is free floating. Engage tug lines now. Main bus energized. Electric motors responding to internal power.
Bow thruster engaged. 5% power to port. Checking blade vibration and current draw.
Passive array online. Filtering ambient harbor noise. Signal clarity is perfect, sir. All hydrophones checked.
Switching to pure electric propulsion. Check the engine room ambient noise. Maintain silent running protocol.
Controlled flood.
Flooding main ballast. Maintain slow, controlled rate. Checking trim now. Course deviation is 0-0. Radar sweep nominal. Electronic systems are fully stable.
Water toy 1 launched. Hydraulic platform. All clear.
Final rinse complete. Towel dry all the chrome fittings. We need the entire vessel sparkling before we raise anchor.
From raw steel to this silent, mirror-finished vessel, the ultimate achievement of next-generation manufacturing.
If you want to see more engineering on an impossible scale, subscribe to Next Gen Manufacturing now.